Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm that Seven Blade Dragon, and welcome to the Entertainment Expedition. Now, you may be wondering,
Seven, why are you doing this?
The first reason is I think it'd be fun to do something like this, for your amusement and my amusement.
Sorry!
The second reason I'm doing this is because of YouTube user MrEnter. Now, don't get me wrong, he was good at first, but later on his quality of videos went down the toilet. He nitpicks often, has a big rotten ego, he takes things way too seriously, and worst of all, he has the most headache-inducing angry voice I've ever heard in my life, which he commonly uses in his animated atrocities.
Horrible.
And don't get me started on his blind, rabid, tasteless fanbase. If you want to see proof of this, look at his review on Troll and entry 92 onwards on his animated atrocities. Though be careful of the 100th entry, it's painful to the ears. Because of this, I believed I could do better than him. Seeing that the Horrid TV series was a potential target for his animated atrocities, according to his wiki, whether it be true or not, I decided not to take any chances and tackle the show myself before he does. Now you know why I'm doing this. How I got the name? Well, when seeing Catacrys's first episode, aka his Rascal Racers review, he said that playing a video game was like going on an adventure.
Picking up a game like this is, in itself, a dangerous and exciting expedition. You will either come out of it with a rare gem and valuable life experience, or an ancient piece of fossilized mammoth dung with nothing to show for it. Even though I suppose they're actually quite valuable. Hell, what do I know, eh?
Then it hit me. Expedition. Entertainment. Entertainment Expedition. And the name stuck. Well, I think that's enough chit-chat. Let's dive into the actual review. Horrid originally was a series of books created in 1994 by the author Francesca Simon, a Californian girl who moved to Britain. I can imagine the look on her face when she saw our British weather. I will say, I loved these books when I was a kid, and I still think they hold up today. Wait, books still exist in this era? If so, I should probably read something decent and... Oh. No, I can't. I've got to get back to work. Bad content first, thought-provoking literature later. Now, the first thing that'll be going through your head seeing Horrid for the first time, if you live in Britain, will probably be this.
Oh, he looks like a rip-off of Dennis the Menace, doesn't he?
Excuse me for a moment. Wrong, Dennis! What? The British version? Thank you. Well, the only similarities are the rowdy behaviour and the striped jerseys. Nevertheless, the books were a success, with the combined sales of the books and the audiobooks selling over 20 million copies and being published in 25 languages around the world. But in 2006, CITV had just become an independent channel and needed new shows. So Novel Entertainment went to Francesca and asked her if they could make an animated TV series based on the books. She said yes, and so it went ahead, with Lucinda Whiteley as the producer and Dave Unwin as the animation director. So, you may ask,
what's the big deal about CITV?
Well, the deal is that CITV has higher ratings than Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon or Boomerang UK in this country. This one channel reigns supreme over the ones that broadcast Steven Universe, Regular Show, Harvey Beaks or any other well-received show that's not broadcast on CITV. Though, on the flip side, we don't have rubbish like My Life Me or Breadwinners on this channel. Not to mention that we have our own hidden gems on this channel. Like the original Danger Mouse, Nightmare, Jungle Run, Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids, the animated Mr. Bean series, Wolves, Witches and Giants, Thunderbirds Are Go, Atom, Bad Influence, Blazing Dragons, Count Duckula, Jerry Anderson's New Captain Scarlet, Starfleet, or X-Bomb as it was called in Japan, Jerry Anderson's Terrorhawks, Tugs, Bounty Hamster, and an animated TV series of Warship Down? Well, this is awkward because there also exists a much more adult adaptation of the book. Get on with it! Oh, bummer. I've gone on for about 4.5 minutes. Let's get on with the actual review now. We'll save to talk about the Horrid movie for another time, and believe me, that's for another episode. Well, let's play the intro and see what we're getting into. Oh, sorry. I meant 2 intros. Now, about the new intro. I don't really like it. The song overall sounds bland and uninspired as plain toast, and it feels like it goes on for too long. And the actual intros are all that spectacular. Except this one part with poor frame rate. Though it's not Sonic Boom Rise the lyric bad. Actually, I can make this whole thing better if I speed it up and raise the pitch. Not bad if I say so myself, but even that can't beat the old theme song. The beginning riff sounded familiar to American Idiot by Green Day, though it doesn't rip off the whole song unlike Johnny Test did. Nevertheless, it's fast-paced, upbeat, and it's really catchy. I also have no idea why they replaced this. It's great compared to the other one. And I would definitely listen to this over the My Little Pony theme song. Wait, what the hell? Oh, where's my piano jazz? That's better. So, thanks to the old intro, the show's off to a good start. But now one question remains. Is the actual show good? Let's find out. Our first episode of choice will be Horrid Henry's birthday. Our episode starts off on a peaceful morning, and then
My way, worm!
There he is!
So this is our little scamp, Horrid Henry, voiced by Lizzie Waterworth. I will say, she did a great job voice acting for Henry. Henry's excited because it's only 2 more weeks until his birthday, and aside from the great deal of presents, he also gets to go to Laser Zap, you know, laser tag. But his mum and dad are reluctant to let him go there. His mum's voiced by Tamsin Heatley, and his dad is voiced by Wayne Forrester.
You're right. Let's have the party at home. There's loads of stuff we can do here.
I can't imagine what his 18th birthday would look like.
Alright, you can go to Laser Zap.
I agree.
And thus it's settled. The next day, while Henry's classmates, well, do things and stuff, Henry announces his birthday party to his class. Unfortunately, his class isn't very interested.
Your parties are never fun. Yeah, they're never fun.
Oh yeah, that's Moody Margaret. She's the Veruca Salt of the show.
So thanks, but we're not coming.
But that means no presents.
No.
Though unfortunately, artists and persuasion, his class decide to come anyway. Later on, he tells his family the arrangements he wants for his party.
Henry!
Well, not before interrupting what they're watching.
Henry's best party ever. Item 1, food. Crisps. Burgers. And loads of chips.
Very good.
Carrot sticks.
Wait, what?
Yummy. Peanut butter sandwiches and plenty of apple juice.
Disgusting.
Indeed, it's more like a vegetarian's tea party than a proper anniversary feast. I'll show you how to make a proper party dinner. First, you get some Doritos, several litres of Mountain Dew, a bucket full of Top Kick, and several packets of weed. Wait. I've just been informed that is an MLG feast, not a birthday dinner. Well, I have the idea of having Tango Orange and Pepperoni Pizza, but I think it's better if we move on.
Item 2, the trip to Laser Zap. We'll go in a fleet of stretch limos.
No limos, much too expensive.
Denied.
One bus is much greener than lots of limos.
You do have a fair point, Peter. Besides, you never said it would be a luxury bus. Though it ain't as good as going in a Magnacopter from the original Captain Scarlet. Speaking of Captain Scarlet, now's a good time for some trivia. Or should I say, turbo trivia. Did you know that Perfect Peter's voice actress, Emma Tate, also voiced Hazel from the Shaun the Sheep movie, Cameo from Cameo Elements of Power, and Destiny Angel from the 2005 reboot of Captain Scarlet? And that's not all. Wayne Forrester also voiced Captain Scarlet himself on the reboot as well. Quite the surprise for me, actually.
Don't know why you're bothered. You're not coming.
Oh my god, Henry, you mentally traumatized your brother! The family then get a rather negative call from Laser Zap.
Henry, when you went to Laser Zap for Ralph's birthday party, did you break all the lasers?
No?
And put slime in everybody's spacesuits?
No!
What about the goo in the moon boots?
Oh yeah, that was great! I mean, it wasn't me!
Well, Laser Zap have banned you.
That means the party will have to be here.
Dear God.
Much to Henry's dismay, eventually his birthday arrives.
Happy birthday! Hello! You can come in if you brought a present.
Don't be horrid, Henry.
However, Ralph, Henry's best friend, isn't here at the moment due to a dentist appointment, and for the majority of the time, Henry gets rubbish presents.
It's a tapestry kit. I chose it myself.
Why?
Ooh, I'll have it if you don't want it, Henry.
It's settled. Peter is pretty much the Walter the Softy of the show.
Brilliant! You've got some animal soap, a CD of fairy tales. Oh, wow! Cook your own healthy, nutritious food! Fantastic!
Oh wow, the presents really are awful. They soon play some party games, while Henry cheats.
Pass it on, Henry. Yeah, like, pass it on, Henry.
They try musical statues instead, with some better music too.
Boogie woogie!
He moved!
Didn't? Yo pushed me.
I'm sorry, but what sort of voice acting was that?
Yo pushed me.
Oh, I know. Terrible. Eventually, Ralph arrives from the dentist with Henry's present, but since tea is ready, he would have to wait.
At least tea's going to be good.
Oh my goodness!
And the worst part is that Henry's party mates are enjoying it. You know what this means? We must make childish healthy food hate art on MS Paint with characters we barely know beating up the healthy food. Then we will make a healthy food hate group on DeviantArt, where we rant and whine about healthy food. Then we will make a preposterous petition to get rid of healthy food once and for all. And when it's finally gone, we will continue to rant about it like imbeciles. Actually, what does the Johnny Test hate group look like? It can't be that bad. Oh my god, this is horrible.
This is cancer. This is so much cancer that I can feel the tumors growing on my back. And it's way down heavy on me, and it's not okay.
This is the worst party ever.
With presents that have Poundland quality are cheap, and a bland healthy tea, I don't blame you.
I'll bet this is another rubbish present too. All right! That's more like it!
Would your best friend ever give you a rubbish present?
Let's party!
And with his newfound toy, he brings life into this dull occasion. I could have made a splashing visual joke, but it would have been too predictable. That and I'm getting carried away with these skits. I'll save this all for a YouTube poop. Of course, Henry gets scolded for his actions, and his mum says he would never have another birthday party ever again.
It's okay. They say that every year. Only 12 months to go, and everyone's invited!
Thus, our story comes to an end.
That face!
Well, there was nothing too terrible about that episode. Just the odd bit of bad voice acting from some of the characters at times, some lackluster sync with the animation character audio, and a missing audio sound effect. There's also this part in the Pass the Parcels scene.
All right. Here you go, worm.
Don't be horrid, Henry.
I don't think it was mainly his fault. It's whatever you put in that parcel that's done it. Now, most reviewers would just stop there and judge a show by one episode, and say either the show is bad or good. But not me. We're gonna have a look at another episode, to make my review more reliable, and to entertain you of course. Let's take a look at Horrid Henry's Revenge. The story begins with Peter painting the picture, and out of all things, singing in French for some reason.
Peter, we have come to kidnap you and take you to our planet.
Space aliens! Help!
And of course, we see Henry being horrid.
Hey! Mum hasn't got a moustache. I'm going to tell.
I don't know, Peter. This is art. The art of vandalism.
No!
They get into a tumble which ruins the carpet and covers Peter's face in blue paint, so Henry gets banished to his room by Mum. And Peter also pulls an evil snitch looking smile for no reason.
It's not fair!
Well, get used to seeing that. A lot. While Henry is in his room, he normally has lots to do in there, so he doesn't take his punishment seriously. Therefore, sending him to his room is completely pointless. Even if his parents were something out of Go Animate and grounded him for a ridiculously long time.
You are grounded for 179197498.
What is up with that grounding fetish?
What the hell's going on? Oh, crap!
Years.
How could this happen? I wasn't supposed to happen.
It doesn't matter now, it's all fixed. Let's get back on track. Okay, we're back now after some technical difficulties.
What? That's all my stuff!
Turns out Mum is finally applying some discipline, so she removed all of Henry's things so he would think about why he's being punished, leaving nothing but some new clothes, his breakfast, a boombox with a convenient radio on it, and a blue pen for convenient wall drawing.
Uh-oh. If they see this, I'll be stuck in here forever. Luckily, no one comes in here unless the music's too loud.
Now he has to get rid of the sketches on his wall before his parents find out and go all Go Animate on his arse. And guess where he gets help from? From his enemy, Moody Margaret, in which in return he would allow her to be the leader of his group, the Purple Hand Gang, for one day. He manages to coordinate a plan to paint over the scribbles, he's set free from his room, then tells Ralph, Margaret and Susan his plan to secretly get revenge on his brother. And then we see the plan work. Just as well as the time when the almighty Tallest from Invader Zim tricked Invader Scooge into being launched into his own planet he conquered.
Foolish, gullible Scooge.
Well, I still don't see anything overly bad about the show, so I don't understand all the hate to wait a minute. Reverse that clip.
What is this? What is this?
Okay, I can forgive some animation mistakes if they're not too frequent and obvious. Hell, I heard rumours that Steven Universe has a lot of animation mistakes and nobody gives a monkeys about it. But this is pushing it. Even if experts like Dave Unwin make mistakes, and even if the show uses hand-drawn animation, this is just
Unacceptable!
oh, not again! So the plan succeeds, Peter gets sent to his room for the very first time, and Henry screams at the top of his lungs celebrating his revenge. And then aliens come out of nowhere making a hasty retreat from Henry's screams. Has Henry accidentally done a Cry Wolf scenario? Is Zim going to conquer the Earth? Are the Mysterons going to avenge themselves by making Henry pay for his ear-piercing scream?
Son of a cussing cuss!
Of course not.
What happened?
So yeah, I'm starting to see the flaws in this show, mainly animation ones, but not enough to ruin the show, mind you. I still enjoy the stories. However, if there's one criticism against the show I don't understand, is that it's bad because it doesn't teach good morals. I say that not every cartoon has to teach good morals. Now don't rub this the wrong way, I'm not saying that teaching morals in shows is a bad thing, I've got nothing against it. But I like to say a few things. 1. Most children don't want to be educated when watching TV. Well, unless they live in Australia. They want their brains to rot over a good story. 2. Just because a show or movie teaches good morals, doesn't mean it's automatically good in my eyes. It's better to have a good story without attempting to teach a moral, than a bad story attempting to teach a good moral. I also got more news for you. There's an episode where it does give out a good message to children. That being Horrid Henry's new shoes. Come on, let's get this done and over with.
Wear rooty boot boots when you walk around. Spread the funky beat out that hip-hop sound. Rooty boots say you're looking good. Coolest kid in the neighborhood, yeah!
No!
So the premise is that Henry gets suckered in by an advert showing off Rooter-Toots.
Oh, must be American made.
And the episode shows him in his shenanigans in the shopping centre. Overall, it's a decent episode with the usual Horrid Henry formula, so it doesn't give me much to riff on or criticise. But there's this one scene that raises a couple of questions for me. After Henry causes some mayhem with a remote-controlled bumblebee, Henry's mum takes Henry and heads on out of the centre immediately when...
Madam, could there be something in your bag you haven't paid for?
No, I don't think so.
May I take a look?
Yes, of course, but,
Can you explain this?
What? That little remote? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is no way that the security hardware would have picked that up. Why? Because they put security tags on the box of a product like this, and not a part of the product because it would be too costly. And since an RCB would probably cost quite a bit, you would think they put a box guard on its box. Sorry, I'm rambling on a bit. Moving on. The security guard begins to arrest her, but Peter and Henry protest with Henry saying that he put it in there because he wanted Mum to buy it, which one of the staff finds understandable.
Put me in prison instead of her!
Well, it's against our policy to put children in prison.
So we put him in a young offenders centre instead. Actually, they overlook it this time. Seems rather generous for a shop who has security tags in parts of their products.
And will Madam be taking these too?
What? Okay, matey, you are pushing it now. Why is he offering these out of nowhere? Are these things selling out that are going out of fashion? Or does the plot specifically demand that Henry gets his goddamn rootin' toots? We may never know.
Oh, singing shoes. Someone out there must really hate parents.
Huh, I don't blame him. I bet the people behind Vine and Breadwinners also must have hated parents too. Speaking of Henry's shoes, he didn't notice the one unfortunate flaw with the shoes.
Great idea getting those trainers, Henry. Now we'll always know when and where you're being horrid.
So, what was that supposed message I told you earlier?
Don't fall for stupid rubbish like this!
Are you happy now?
Well, overall I can certainly tell you it's not bad enough to be on MrEnter's animated atrocities, but the question is it still a good show? Before we conclude, I would like to give one more compliment. The music. There are certain themes for characters in the show that have their own individual instruments at play when the story focuses on one said character. It gives them their own personality and theming. For example, when we focus on Perfect Peter, his composition is comprised of light instruments, like flutes.
Please, could I have some more handkerchiefs, Mom?
While when we focus on Henry, his composition is comprised of heavy and masculine instruments, like electric guitars.
just 2 more weeks till my birthday, which means a birthday party and loads of brilliant presents for me.
It's subtle, but it's very welcome here. Okay then, enough dawdling about, let's conclude this review. As a person who doesn't believe in Enter's way of reviewing, I've improved the system by adding review scoring and having a middle ground, like Caddy's Slaughter, Salvage and Slawvage. How this review system works is that any piece of media that I consider bad, like abysmal animation, will normally get around a 0 to 4.9 out of 10. The middle ground, like average animation, gets around a 5 to 7.9 out of 10. And great pieces of media, like amazing animation, will normally get an 8 to 10 out of 10. And it's given its score based on the number of valid positives and negatives of said piece of media. And sometimes they can even get a treasure rating if it's good enough, or if it's bad enough, it will be branded as something that's worse than eating mammoth feces. A curse. So, what does this show get? This show does have some decent hand-drawn animation, mostly good voice acting, some nice theming thanks to its composition, the old theme song is great, and it mostly does a decent job at telling a good story. Unfortunately, the show has some noticeable animation errors. Some of the other characters are a bit flat and cliche with their actions and personalities being mostly revolved around their names. The new intro and theme songs suck, and sometimes the characters can be a bit unlikable and annoying. Normally, the highest I can allow for an abysmal animation is a 4.9, but in this case, Horrid Henry gets a 5.9 out of 10. It's not the best, but nor is it a bad show by any means. So if I'm going to look at some more Horrid Henry episodes for other reviews, we'll come back to it as an average animation. Oh no! MrEnter's definitely going to pick up the show and do an animated atrocities on it now. All because I gave this show attention. He's going to tear it to pieces and ruin the show's reputation! And so that concludes my first review for the Entertainment Expedition. Just be noted that the series is still in an experimental state, and there will be some changes in the next episode. So why not help me out and leave some constructive criticism in the comments to help me improve the show and to give you guys something even better to watch. Why not include your own opinions on the show in the comments too? Because at the end of the day, it is my own opinion. Also be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. I'm that Seventh Blade Dragon, and for Shakespeare's sake, go read a book. Or better still, the Beano. Because the Beano's bloomin' awesome. Cheerio! What? Oh yeah. Varcom's still rampant, aren't they?